That was Kasabian on XFM with Empire. This is Josh Widdicombe. It's Saturday morning, so that's why I'm here. Producer Neil is here as well.
Good morning, Josh.
So it's an exciting morning. We have two show debutantes. Finn Taylor, the future of British comedy, and Richard Herring, the present and past and future. He's all of them. Okay. So Finn Taylor's not actually achieved anything yet.
That's a bit harsh, mate.
Yeah, it is. Maybe I should rephrase that. Richard Herring's achieved a lot. I think by even just existing, Finn Taylor's achieved. Aren't we all achieving something every day?
Very true.
Imagine if the show just became a kind of positive thinking exercise. We got really into American self-help. How has your week been, Neil?
It's all right. We had a rogue slug in our house this week.
Did you?
Yeah.
What do you mean by a rogue? Bit of a one with the ladies?
Not as far as I'm aware.
No.
We'd come down and we'd just find like a slug/snail trail all over our floor, but we couldn't work out how it had got in the house or where it was. And then we spotted it this morning under the dining room table.
Oh, how big was he?
Probably, well, this is radio, so I was going to say the length of my finger, but that doesn't
The length of an average male index finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a good week as well. Thank you for asking.
Sorry, I got carried away with the slug.
Been on tour. That's it, really.
Highlights of anywhere you visited?
Saw a wedding shop with a name that we became obsessed with because it sounds like the kind of thing you'd say as a kind of insult in a soap opera. Rather, it was called White Lace and Promises. Oh, we thought rather than that sounding good, like it sounds like the kind of thing you say. Here she comes, all white lace and promises. And so I've been saying that for 3 days. So I'll try and fit into the show at points. But the storyline, I'd imagine, a woman gets married in a soap, but she's been having an affair with the best man who's also the brother. And so the marriage ends within a week, and then she goes back into the local pub. And the landlady will go, how you can come in here? Just a week ago, you stood at the altar all white lace and promises. If anyone's listening who writes for EastEnders...
That's brilliant.
It'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Try and get it into the show.
I can just imagine Danny Dyer delivering it.
You can imagine... Is Danny Dyer in EastEnders?
He is. I think he now owns the Queen Vic, from what I've read about.
Really?
I don't watch it, I've just read about it.
What happened to Barbara Windsor? She's still in it.
I don't know. She's busy with her bingo commercials.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Josh Widdicombe on XFM. If you're aware that we sound a little different, we are in a different studio. I'm going to say it's a nice change.
It is a nice change. It's slightly more roomy, so I think we sound a bit more echoey.
Do you think?
I'm a bit worried.
Do you worry the listeners are going to panic? That we're broadcasting from a pirate warehouse? We're coming at you. I mean, to give you an idea of how roomy it is, we've got 2 chairs.
And yet 4 microphones. So
it's not that rare. From my window, I can see a pub and a Chinese medicine place.
Oh.
So there you go. That gives the listener a flavour. Now, at this stage of the show, we tackle any other business. Any other business is the listener has the right to reply. Pedantically pick us up on the most minor things from the previous weeks. Neil will uphold or reject. Once again, because we're in a different studio, it hasn't got a bell.
No, but have the sound effects again.
Oh, it has the sound effects. Right, number 1. Knowing your love of 90s football, I just wanted to throw my hat into the ring with the theme from last week, celebs in strange places. I once got frisked by Gaza in a pub car park as he didn't believe me when I told him that I had no cigarettes. It really is a downward slope for Gaza. Every new thing you hear about him. I met Steve Watson in my friend's house for a birthday party, and I saw Philip Albert buying an ice cream, both back when Newcastle United had a defence.
Ooh.
Kick in the teeth for Alan Pardew. I hope Alan Pardew isn't going, guys, it's been a tough end to the season. I might relax by listening to the Josh Widdicombe XFM podcast, because I'm unlikely to get any flack on there. And then Cole from Newcastle, who is now living in Derbyshire, comes along. Now, obviously, that barely qualifies as any other business. It qualifies as kind of extension business. Yeah. Upholding or rejecting.
Well, it's a good story, so I'm just going to uphold. So
there we go. Any other business? Last week's show. You, Josh. Bit harsh. You, Josh, said you were watching United against Deportivo in Deportivo. You must have, of course, meant in A Coruña or La Coruña. That is correct. Although he has called them United, which is yours most pedantically, Ryan. Open brackets, still in Bowie's apartment, close brackets, in Berlin. I don't know what that Bowie's apartment is. Have we heard from Ryan before?
I don't know, possibly. Or is he referencing something that was said on one of the first shows you ever did on XFM? which was about Bowie in Berlin and his pepper and other
Yeah,
substance
I don't think
diet.
that was even in Berlin, actually. I think I later found out that, we could have done with any other business at that point. I think that was in his American phase. So, in many ways, Ryan has been hoisted by his own petard by bringing up a fact and accuracy from a previous show. Any other business has gone meta. I totally agree, obviously. Just for listeners, the show isn't all about football. Let me make that very clear. The next one's not going to be... You were talking about Lionel Messi playing up front. He actually plays in a false 9 position. Yeah, so Deportivo is the name of the team and La Coruña is the place.
Got you. Okay, well, there's only one outcome.
We very rarely reject these days, do we? Let's see how this one fares. This is from a regular listener, Connor in Hull. On Saturday, the 12th of April, during the excellent Nishipedia slot, Nish said that the 1970s was an awful period for America. Open brackets, therefore they created the Village People, close brackets, because of the fallout of the Vietnam War, Watergate and the Iran-Contra affair. This is, of course, false. The Iran-Contra affair occurred during the Reagan presidency, which was in the 1980s. More specifically, 1985. I'm not saying it undermines the conspiracy theory, but what has undermined Connor, though, is that he put a full stop in the middle of a sentence. Which is almost unforgivable.
But it is forgivable.
Oh, you're too weak, Neil. Too weak. So if you have any other business, email them in via the website.
Yep, or alternatively, josh@xfm.co.uk.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
XFM with Josh Widdicombe on a Saturday morning. Also, producer Neil is in the house.
Good morning.
Good morning. Have you ever? I don't know if you've ever been in the house. We've done this 18 months now. It's the first time you're in the house.
No, I've been in the house, been in the flat, been in the maisonette as well. So.
Have you, what do you live in a house, presumably?
Terrace house. Yeah.
Terrace house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Semi or no? It's terraced. It's
Terraced.
I don't know the terminology. Now, the topic this week. Last week we were going to do this, but celebrities in unlikely places flew like nothing has ever flown before. Just kept on going. So, odd things you enjoyed as a child, strange hobbies, things that aren't appropriate. Basically, this comes from the fact it's kind of a reversal of what's happened to my life at the moment, in that I've become obsessed with the Panini World Cup sticker album in the last week. To the point where I've limited myself to 10 packets a day because I'm an adult.
That's £5 a day.
That's £5
on
a day.
stickers.
On stickers, yeah, exactly. So you've got to set a limit, Neil. Right. And you can't believe your ears, can you?
That's like 35 quid a week.
All I'm saying is my friend Michael, he tweeted a picture of his sticker album and a box of stickers he'd bought. That is unacceptable.
It's like the Man City of the sticker album world.
I feel like I'm Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah.
In many ways. So, odd things you enjoyed as a child. Were you into any strange hobbies? I'll tell you what, I'll interrupt you.
Go ahead.
I got slightly misquoted in an interview. Basically, I was doing an interview and it was like, they asked me what got me into comedy, and I said I was into 90s comedies. I listed some. At the end, I said Clive Anderson Talks Back. But they cut all the others out, so it just looked like I was hugely influenced by the work of Clive Anderson. What are you going to comedy? Clive Anderson Talks Back. Next.
It was a good show.
It was a good show. It was a good show, but he's a very good comedian. He was a very good comedian. Don't get me wrong. What were you into?
I was really into...
A huge fan of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
I was actually, but no.
Yeah.
The odd thing I was into as a child was I was really into Martin Lewis when he presented the one.
How can you be into Martin Lewis?
Well, he presented the 1 o'clock news. Now, I remember it that I was really into him because it meant I got to go to play school in the afternoon. So my mum.
What if Martin Lewis was on? If it was Moira Stewart, you were kept at home.
No, the 1 o'clock news came on, and that meant once it was finished, my mum would walk me to play school for a couple of hours.
Right. Yeah.
But so I remember being excited.
So did you watch the whole of the 1 o'clock news?
I think so, on like a countdown. Kind of.
Wow, you must have known loads about like what was going on.
You would think, but the switches. My mum says I was actually petrified of Martin Lewis because I was scared of play school. Now I have a happy memory. She says actually it was a negative memory. So
wow, you've got a fascinating kind of relationship with Martin Lewis.
Yeah.
Now Classic FM is in the building. I don't know if Martin Lewis does a show on it. I imagine he does, judging by their roster.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
No, I'd have been there like a shot if he was.
Yeah,
Do you need some freelance
wouldn't.
producing work doing?
The fact Martin Lewis doesn't work for Classic FM is the greatest oversight in the history of radio. If anyone's got a contact with Martin Lewis, or can get in touch with Martin Lewis so that we can arrange for him to kind of send Neil a message to see how Neil reacts, via the website, or josh@xfm.co.uk. I mean, I'm fascinated in this. Before the end of the show, I'm going to Wikipedia Martin Lewis and find some stuff about him. If anyone wants to put on his Wikipedia page that producer Neil was terrified of him, then I won't stop you.
I was excited by him. That's the story I'm sticking to.
Josh Widdicombe.
XFM. Listeners, I bring bad news. Martin Lewis does not have a Wikipedia entry. I repeat, Martin Lewis does not have a Wikipedia entry. I don't know whether Neil's mum removed it for fear of scaring him. If you don't know, if you want to miss the last link, unlikely, if you're only just woken up, welcome to the bloody world. Then Neil's got a fear of Martin Lewis.
I have enjoyment of Martin.
Or
That's
likes
wrong
Martin
as well,
Lewis, he can't
but-
decide. It's a love-hate thing, but he's not. I said I'd Wikipedia him, he's not on there.
That's unbelievable.
So shall we get on with some listeners' odd things they were into as a child to see whether they match up to Martin Lewis?
Yes, okay.
This is from Joe. As a child, I used to walk about with a notebook taking down number plates of cars in my street. No idea why. That's sinister, isn't it? Joe doesn't say whether there was makes included as well.
That's true, yeah.
Because, I mean, the information is... I suppose it is useful to the police still. I mean, I wouldn't describe that as a hobby. There's a good way of judging this. You're a father.
Yep.
Obviously, your daughter is too young to do that. If your daughter started doing that, how would you feel about it?
Priority would be she didn't get too close to the road in the first place. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if she did it from the pavement, you'd be fine.
Yeah, if she did. Yeah, I guess so. Whatever makes your child happy. Unless it's drugs and stuff like that. Okay, that's bad. That's not good.
Classic parenting. Classic parenting. Whatever makes your child happy unless it's drugs or stuff like that. That's your slogan.
Yep.
I think Claire Rayner coined that phrase. We're going to go with someone who's gone without name. Because I think this is more sinister than Joe. I used to like dissecting the animals my cat brought in. Creepy, I know. Hashtag basically Burke and Hare. Now, I don't know if that's a hashtag that's going around. I think that's a one-off. That's not going to get trending. I don't think... I mean, that is weird, dissecting things your animal brought in. You don't know how far the dissection goes. I didn't used to like it at school. Did you like it?
We never did it at school.
Didn't you? Why not?
I don't think my year could be trusted with scalpels or sharp objects. There was kind of quite a lot of troublemakers.
Oh, really? Were you quite a rough school?
It seemed to be the years I was there, it was a bit rough.
Are you saying you're a troublemaker?
No, I quietly cowered in the corner for most of
Was
my
your
years.
parents'
at school.
attitude of whatever makes him happy unless it's drugs or stuff? Give him a scalpel, whatever makes him happy. How would you feel if your daughter got into the dissecting? That's the test we're going to do on each of these.
Could win a Nobel Prize in the future if she started early enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people know what's going on inside animals. I don't think like a 7-year-old dissecting an animal could find something out. Could go, wait a minute, this rabbit's got 2 hearts.
Well, you never know. Evolution is taking place all around us every moment, Josh.
I don't think it is like that.
It is.
I don't think rabbits are growing another heart.
There might be.
Is evolution taking place all around us at all times?
I don't know specifically, but I would argue yes.
Have we not got there?
We're always evolving.
Are people going to look back on us and go, look at those losers with 2 eyes? Oh, come on.
Don't think they have to look back to look at those losers.
No.
Just look at us.
Look at those losers. Okay, well, we'll leave that there. We are going to come to them with our guests. I feel the problem is it's got quite sinister. We need some more light-hearted ones. So far, the number plates and the animals, they're too silent witness for my liking so far.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
XFM, Saturday morning. This is Josh Widdicombe with Mr. Nish Kumar.
Good morning, or is it?
It's like you're doing your full range over the weeks. You get them edited together and made into a show reel.
A very repetitive show reel.
Yeah. You catchphrase because you're a conspiracy theorist in residence, or fan of conspiracy theories, should we say.
Fan of conspiracy theories.
Each week trying to put one into what we have dubbed Nishipedia, our encyclopedia of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Bulging as it is due to... I mean, you don't need that much evidence for Neil to accept it.
Yeah, the ceiling on this seems to be pretty high at the moment.
So, hit us.
we've got a listener submission for a conspiracy theory. I can't decide whether to give this person's Twitter handle or leave them anonymous.
Oh, no, give it.
Okay, it's at Scarlet Roses _ It's a very mysterious, very mysterious Twitter handle.
Scarlet Roses.
Scarlet Roses actually tweeted me this a couple of weeks ago, but we've been backed up due to the sheer volume of conspiracies out there.
Cool.
Just going to start with the headline. Scientists claims that the lost city of Atlantis was on Mars and ancient Egypt traded with them.
Oh, wow.
Swiss scientists say that they can prove beyond a doubt, which is always a dangerous phrase in conspiracy theories, that the lost city of Atlantis was on Mars and its astronauts traded with ancient Egypt for a significant period of time.
Wow.
Even more incredible, they claim to have the evidence to show that the legendary King Tutankhamun died spectacularly in a space shuttle crash.
Wow.
Egypt's pyramids and the ability to mummify the human body are definitely the results of technologies that originated not on Earth, but someplace else, in this case, Mars. So, that practice where they basically wrapped people in cloth, that apparently is a technology so sophisticated it could only have come from Mars. Researchers have long known that the Egyptians were exposed to flight because of an elaborate model of what they called a glider was found in ancient Egyptian tombs. These scientists have made the jump that ancient Egyptians basically had paper aeroplanes they flew to space and traded with Martians.
Amazing. Where did they trade then?
In the lost city of Atlantis, Josh. I can't believe you're struggling to keep up.
No,
yeah.
They'd go to them rather than the other way.
Yeah, they'd go to them rather than... I think it was a back and forth thing.
What happened to all the space technology?
Well, they've leapt from basically going, well, we basically know how to embalm our dead. What's next? Mars.
Yeah. Like, they wouldn't have been able to breathe.
It's not so much running before you can walk as learning to fly a spacecraft before you can walk.
That's amazing. But, of course, the pyramids, don't they reflect the position of planets in the sky or something?
I don't know.
I've heard that, or something similar, yeah.
I've heard that, but I get a lot of my information on these things from the Mummy franchise, so...
What happens in The Mummy?
Well, Brendan Fraser's career took an up and down turn.
I haven't seen it.
The first one's very bad, and they get progressively worse.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Tell you what. Should we get back to the theory?
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, that's the theory.
Yeah, well, no, I think that's the worst we've had. On evidence, it's poor.
Yeah, it's a poor one, and it's also the one that seems to have the most genuine scientific debate surrounding it. But to be fair to Scarlet Roses, she's absolutely hit the nail on the head. This is convoluted, it involves ancient civilizations, and it has absolutely no verification whatsoever. And as such, has kept the tone of Nishipedia perfectly.
Let's not have a go at Scarlet Roses. So what do you think, Neil?
I mean, all those things you've just listed, Nish, do tick the box. It's going in.
Unbelievable. Yeah, you should encourage people, I suppose, to...
Yeah, if anybody else has got any unverified conspiracy theories, do feel free to tweet us.
So what did she do? Send you a link?
Yeah, send me a link.
Okay.
Yeah.
83936 or at XFM.
Josh Widdicombe. Podcast. XFM.
Producer Neil still here.
Good morning.
But that's not really what we care about, because we are joined by, for the first time on the show, Finn Taylor.
Good morning. What a pleasure.
Oh, no, the pleasure is all ours. Do you know what I was thinking? Maybe we should introduce a kind of Steve Wright-style applause. Shall we try that?
But there's only three of us here.
There's only
Sound
three, and you can't
patronising.
applaud.
I can't applaud
You
myself.
can't applaud yourself, right? Joining us for the first time is Finn Taylor.
Thank you.
That'll be on your Wikipedia entry. You're
Really?
the only person who's ever been applauded onto the Josh Widdicombe.
If Martin Lewis doesn't have one, I'm not sure I deserve one.
No, that is right.
Yet.
I thought you meant an applause.
Let's see how this goes.
I thought you meant applause.
Oh,
Let's start the BBC News. Good morning. Welcome to the BBC News. How are you, Finn?
I'm good, yeah.
What would you normally be doing at this time on a Saturday morning?
I would be in bed. I would be listening to the start of the football build-up, trying to drink.
Is that what we're seeing as? That's good. It's interesting that you see our show as the start of the football build-up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's your show. That's what we listen to.
We do, yeah. So, I mean, we don't want it to get too football heavy, but at this moment in time,
Oh, it's so exciting.
in May
It's
2000,
so
what are we?
exciting.
April, sorry, 2013, 2014. It's Saturday. It's a Saturday in April 2014. I don't think there's anything in the world that is close to the importance of the next month of football, followed then by the World Cup. This is the most exciting I think football's ever been.
Extraordinary. I just can't wait.
And the World Cup. Are you excited, Neil?
I am, but I'm disappointed Scotland aren't there. That's,
Neil pretends to be Scottish.
Well, I'm half Scottish as well. So
what?
Yes.
Here we go.
my name's Finley. That's a Scottish name.
Yeah.
Just backtracking quickly. My first World Cup was 1998. Sorry, that's quite late.
No, that's fine. Well, that's my first World Cup was 1990. We were on a family trip to see the Rolling Stones at Wembley.
Wow,
What?
that's a family trip.
That's
we went
a family
on like
trip.
barges and river cruises to see the Stones at Wembley.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Yeah, listen.
My first ever gig was when I was 15. I went to see George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic at Hampton Wicklow with my dad.
I think that's quite cool.
Well, my dad didn't know what was going on.
No.
He had his fingers in his ears. There was a man with a nappy
So had
shredding on a guitar.
So, sorry, had you decided that you wanted to go to this?
Yeah. That was my first.
Well, we're going to come on to weird things you're into as a child.
That's one of them. That's definitely one of them.
This is XFM.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Queens of Stone Age, If I Had a Tail. Is that spelt, Neil? Tail or Tale?
Tail.
It's just, I mean, yeah, fair enough. Because that would, yeah, obviously he's got a tail. He's going out with Brodie Darley. As we established last week, that's not how you pronounce her name. Now, we're still joined by Finn Taylor.
Hello.
We're talking this morning about odd things you enjoyed as a child. Obviously, you're into George Clinton.
Parliament Funkadelic.
Parliament Fund.
That's what my name
What
used to
age
be.
did you get into that?
I'm like 13 onwards.
Did that go down well in the schoolyard?
No.
What was everyone else into at that time?
They
Like
were into The
Artful
Killers
Dodger?
and Jet and
Jet?
all those kind of bands. And I was listening to like Bootsy Collins. Like Bootsy's
Did you wear
little band
shades?
live, and I didn't wear. You couldn't just wear shades at school. You could just walk in with some aviators.
Did your teacher go, sorry,
He'd
you
blame that
wearing
on-
shades, Finley? And you
Yeah,
go,
and
yeah.
I go, sorry, I've got a case of the funk. Leave me alone. And just parade into class. No, I was kind of a musical pariah at school. Because
Yeah.
I was, but I don't know, maybe it was just me trying to be different, but I did genuinely love sort of 70s funk.
What was there any other weird things you were into as a kid?
I was thinking about this. I was into Laser Quest, but in a way, probably I was into it too much in that I took it too seriously.
Oh, I hated Laser
To
Quest.
the point where I was at the age of 11, my dad said he was going to stop taking me because I asked the receptionist what the venue's policy on flashbangs were. I said it's 5 to 7 seconds of intense white heat and then it just dissipates.
Do you know why I couldn't go to Laser Quest? Well, I could go, but I was very bad at it. And one of the reasons was, obviously, when you're younger, your hair is blonder.
Yeah. The UV light.
And the UV light, I glowed in the dark.
Disaster, mate. Always wear dark clothes.
Yeah, I always wear dark.
I'd be so into it. If I didn't
Can
win,
you give the listeners, Finn, your top 3 Laser Quest tips?
use the airlock to gather your head. The marshal will be
What's the
spouting
airlock? What's the
nonsense.
airlock?
The bit in the sort of like the pre-zone, the pre-war bit
Yeah,
where you
yeah.
get your pack on,
Yeah.
and you're accustoming your eyes to the UV light.
That's like when the players are in the tunnel, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, if you like. Yeah, use that time to
when
get
you
your
go
head
out,
in the game.
do you touch the sign that says this is Laser Quest?
This is Laser Quest. No, I don't. No, because I don't want to hold up the surge. You get to everyone goes to the high ground, but that's the worst place, I think, because of the disco ball. You can shoot lasers off that, and that will cause chaos.
What? There's a disco ball?
Well, there was a Laser Quest Oxford, in Gloucester Square in the late 90s. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, it's very rarely that a disco ball is used in war, but also perfect for you because it reminds you of your favourite music.
Yeah, I'd have my own headphones, I'd have my own Laser Quest funk soundtrack. Yeah, so use the airlock wisely. Don't be tempted by high ground. And I must have been like 9, and then I've got a sister who must have been 4, and my dad was looking after both of us, and so she'd just have to come as well, but she was sort of too young to have the whole pack. So my dad would wear the pack, and my sister would have the gun. But then she would like run into like tiny nooks and crannies, and just my dad would smack his head and just constantly sort of swear.
So don't take your dad as a pack carrier.
Yeah. Pack carriers in general are
Pack carriers are-
overrated.
Move on from this.
All right.
Something that is better than Laser Quest. I'm going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
The Beatles.
Josh Widdicombe.
Finn has just revealed that one of the things, we're talking about odd things you enjoyed as a child, and you're a massive fan of funk music. Molly Stewart has written, massive, in capital letters, primary school John Lennon fan, age 7.
That's intense for primary school.
And then this is in capital letters. Hysterical on learning he was dead 22 years ago.
So not even at primary school in its relevant years. Wow. I mean, Funkadelic were arguably past their prime in the early 2000s, but Lennon.
Do you know what the bands do you know the first band you get into is like the band your dad is into? So obviously the Rolling Stones, 'cause I've seen them live, mate.
Yeah.
And then my dad was into Dire Straits, so I got quite into Dire Straits. I remember going to a shoe shop, and my mum said, "What shoes do you want?" I said, "White ones, like Mark Knopfler."
See, my dad was into jazz, so I was a very kind of chilled out 6-year-old.
A cat?
Yeah. I called everyone cat when I was 6.
You were sat at the back of the class clicking.
Just clicking constantly. Yeah.
Josh Widdicombe. Podcast. XFM.
This is Saturday kind of mid-morning now, and we are coming to the point where producer Neil, to give him his full name, takes centre stage. Over to you, Neil. Neil of Fortune.
So normally I come up with 3 games for our guests to play.
Yeah.
But as it's been a 4-day week, I've only got 2 for you.
But I've got one.
Oh, okay, Josh. Okay, fine.
Right, okay.
Good.
Okay, so you can choose one of these 3 games.
Game number
Basically,
1.
if you enjoy a pun, you're in for an absolute treat in the next minute.
Okay.
Game number 1. Finn-ish him.
Good. Strong.
So
Feeling it already?
Yeah.
finish him was a phrase used at the end of Mortal Kombat, the popular 90s beat-em-up. Other popular titles of this genre also included Street Fighter and Tekken.
Yep.
I have various characters' background music, but can you name those characters from the music?
Oh, that sounds good.
Does each different character have a different background music? Is that how it works?
Yeah, kind of their home world, or
right.
kind of if it's Street Fighter, place around the globe.
So Street Fighter's not involved?
Well, no, I was going to do one from Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, or Tekken. So that's a possibility.
Street Fighter 2.
Okay, what's the other game?
Okay, the other game is called Under Graham Taylor.
Oh.
More up your street would be tough to... Right, anyway, sorry.
So quite simply, I have facts and stats about the reign of Graham Taylor when he was England manager. If I give you the stat or the fact, can you name the player?
Josh, what was your game?
Well, mine was called Finders Keepers.
Right.
And so the description is... Neil Buchanan was the host of Finders Keepers on CITV. He was also the host of Art Attack. If I give you the equipment he used for 3 different art attacks, can you name the picture he created?
God. Right.
I mean, do you think that sounds easy?
No, not at all. It sounds like you've just made it up as I ask you. I'm going to go for Under Graham Taylor, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
What year was his reign? Before I start,
I can tell you, it was 90. It was from about July 1990
Right.
So
The month
about-
of my birth.
Yeah, to about 93.
to about May
Right.
93.
Okay.
But I mean, it's been
That's
written
fine.
about so heavily.
And, you know,
Right,
I'm big into
November
football
93,
history,
yeah.
that's fine.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
XFM, Damon Albarn, who's another artist releasing stuff for Record Store Day today. However, that's not the big news, is it? The big news is we're in the middle of a game of Neil of Fortune. Over to you, producer Neil.
Bins, you're our guest today, and you wanted to play Under Graham Taylor.
I did.
So for those just tuning in, this is a game where, quite simply, I have some facts and stats about the reign of England manager Graham Taylor.
It's good, isn't it? Because I was worried before this feature that the show had become too football heavy.
And basically, you just need to name the player the stat relates to.
Do you want to warm up?
I said there were stats and facts. They're more questions, to be honest.
Okay.
So who was the first choice goalkeeper while Graham Taylor was at the helm of the national team?
Right, I'll
No.
give you a clue that it's not Peter Shilton.
It's not Peter Shilton.
No.
Right.
His club team at this point was Glasgow Rangers.
And Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh, I'm just going to say some names. They aren't my answer, though.
Well, that's not... I'm sorry, but that's...
No, just to myself.
All right, because it's good radio.
Yes, because I can't.
Is this like...
Yeah,
is
but
this...
I can't just sort of sit here silently contemplating because we're literally broadcasting. So I'm pretty sure Kevin Pressman was Welsh.
Kevin Pressman was not going to be the first choice.
I think. I don't know. Oh, I'm so annoyed.
You're going to have to go Kevin Pressman.
No, I'm not going Kevin. That's not my final answer. I don't know. I'm pass.
Chris Woods.
No, never heard of him.
All right.
Oh, exactly. That is the greatest indictment of Chris Woods' international career.
Yeah.
Okay, name one of the 4
Merry
players.
Chris Woods and a Happy New Year.
Was that the joke in the early 90s? Was that what you all said at school?
Name one of the 4 players to withdraw from the England Euro 92 squad.
Were England even in Euro 92?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
You have mentioned one of the players already.
Have I? Oh, is it John Barnes?
He was one of the ones.
Yeah.
Oh, one all.
The other 3 were Gary Stevens, Lee Dixon and Mark Wright.
Why did John Barnes withdraw?
I don't know, mate. Injury?
Don't know. You really haven't researched this.
You know Richard Osman?
No.
And the other answers? Oh, I don't know, mate.
Yeah, don't know, mate.
Question 3. Who did England go out to during the group stages of Euro 92?
Sweden.
It was Sweden.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, 2-1.
It's on a roll.
2-1
I
up.
was 2. I was
And
2.
when you were 1-0 down, I was thinking, it felt a bit like the Ashes. I was thinking, this is going to be a 5-0. This is going to be a whitewash. But you have dusted yourself off.
2-1.
2-1 up with 2 to go. This is exciting. I'm genuinely excited over to see whether he can pull this out.
Okay.
Which much maligned midfielder scored their only goal for the national team under Graham Taylor against San Marino in 1993?
Oh, tough.
Oh, right. That's when. Is that when they lost or they drew or something? And he was David Batty.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Carlton Palmer.
Oh no!
It's 2-2. It's a decider. Never has
all right.
Neil of Fortune been this exciting. What you need is a minute in the airlock to...
Yeah,
really
I need
get
some
your
UV
thoughts.
lights. I need an aggressively haired man shouting drivel.
Okay, I really like... I'm finishing on a good one, I think, for kind of fact fans.
I mean, I was so young.
Which English player under Taylor failed to score on their European Championship debut, but would 8 years later occupy second place in the overall European goal-scoring chart?
Oh, God.
Whoa, that is a
Oh, God.
brilliant...
Right.
What do you mean by European goal scoring chart?
In the European Championships. So
8 years
So-
later, 2000.
I know.
Okay, that must be. Oh, surely it's Shearer.
Correct.
He's done it!
Yes!
A Steve Wright level round of applause.
Last minute, Michael Thomas-esque.
There we go. That's probably the most exciting game we've ever played.
Yeah.
Of Neil of Fortune.
Wow.
Neil, next
Yes.
week, don't make it so interesting, yeah?
Okay, sorry.
Josh Widdicombe. Podcast XFM.
Talking about odd things you enjoyed as a child. This one is from Ginny. I wanted to be Pocahontas, but got stuck up a tree.
Why are those two things connected?
Well, have you seen Pocahontas?
Yeah.
Right, because she's added, haven't pained with the colours of the wind since.
Wow. That's not a reference that hits with me. That's just very poetic.
Oh.
Do you think? Because I read that and presumed it was a reference to Pocahontas.
Yeah.
But now I'm just wondering whether Ginny is like just a really kind of
Forlorn romantic.
verbose texter.
Wow.
Shall we try and get that into conversation this week? God, I haven't pained with the colours of the wind since that.
See, I'm not. But also, the thing is that I'm not sure what that means.
No,
I'm not
what
sure of the
context did you use
yeah.
that? Well, we'll soon see. Do you want one more?
Yes.
This is from Richard Wolfenden. As a child, I had an unlikely interest in taxidermy. #owls. He adds, I haven't pained with the colours of the wind since. Presumably not making taxidermy.
Because otherwise, that's just a tale of a child killing owls.
Yeah, that can't be.
We can't be collecting because his parents would have to take him to auction houses. Or stuff.
Auction houses. Do you follow bad taxidermy on Twitter?
No, I've seen bits.
Oh,
of it.
it's so good.
Maybe there was a sort of taxidermy sticker book for the sort of the bigger dweebs at school.
biggest week.
Biggest dweebs.
Did you collect a funk sticker book?
No, I don't think there was one.
I remember on holiday every year, me and my brother Henry would collect a sticker book.
What, live at the Rolling Stones concerts?
Yeah, I love it. No, this was on our family holidays to Pembrokeshire.
Oh, wow.
What, is that impressive?
Yeah. Pembrokeshire.
Yeah.
In
The Windsor of Wales.
Yeah, the southwest Wales, exactly. So we go to Pembrokeshire, and each year we'd collect the Premier League sticker album. One year they didn't have it, but we wanted to collect sticker albums, so we did the Spice Girls one, even though we had no interest.
Wasn't that just 5 pages?
No, that was the problem. They were trying to create, so they'd be like a big 9 joiner. You know how you join them up of Jerry?
Oh, like a sort of jigsaw.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll be honest with you, it was a cheap cash-in.
right.
And it annoys me that there's money currently in the accounts of Bunton, Chisholm, Brown, Halliwell, and Adams, as I
well
refer
done.
to her still.
Haven't forgiven her. Oh, wow.
So, would you have got that, Neil?
I don't think I would have. No, I couldn't have named the Spice Girls surnames. No.
Do you know what? That's a great game for future Neil of Fortune is can you guess these people's maiden names? For 2 points, Louise Redknapp.
Nerding.
Correct. This is XFM.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Josh Widdicombe show on XFM. Producer Neil.
Good morning.
Finn Taylor.
Hello.
Now, we had a bake-off last week, which I won against Neil.
How do you convincingly win a bake-off?
Because I'm not the kind of person that just puts the icing in between the cake and on top. I mix things up a bit, mate.
Hang on, you put icing in the filling.
Yeah.
Well, that,
So it's just a cake on top of a cake.
It looks like you've lost a bake-off 2 weeks in a row, mate, without even baking. My dad likes to respond to the show, normally in any other business section at the start, but we put it at the same time as the bake-off, so that listeners that listen in can go, oh, the bake-off thing's still chugging on. Neil's cake really was as bad as people say. This is from Mr. Tom Widdicombe. Last week was bake-off week, and for geographical reasons, I couldn't enter. Here is my contribution to the bake-off week. 3 handy tips on the subject of baking bread. I'm assuming that most XFM listeners will be using a bread-making machine. I used to hand-bake, but nowadays I use a bread maker. So here is my first tip. Research your bread machines before you buy one. I bought one on Amazon with I bought the one on Amazon with the most 5-star reviews.
Okay.
Oh, you know when you buy a new phone, it comes advertised with masses of functions, but actually all you want to do is make a call. It's kind of similar with your bread machine.
Just one that gets me to A to bread. A to bread.
Oh, yes. Brilliant.
A to bread. You're welcome.
You don't want extra apps. You don't want to be playing.
You don't want a cocktail shaker attached on the...
Tip 2. Use good quality flour. I would recommend 100% organic wholemeal mixed with organic malthouse. Good quality flour will make the difference between a great loaf and a total non-event.
Wow. That is a damning way to start your morning.
Tip 3. No matter how complicated the bread maker recipe is for your loaf, try to keep it simple. I use flour, yeast, water, oil and sunflower seeds. That is all.
Wow.
You can add salt if you like, but it wouldn't take you long to get used to bread without salt, and it's so much tastier in the end.
Wow.
I'm hoping there's one person in the Venn diagram, right, who is at home as a fan of Laser Quest and baking, and their life has been kicked forward so much in the last hour.
Well, that you're actually not allowed to take food into the airlock, so they would know that, of course. I've got friends of mine who are like growing their own yeast colony to make. Like,
I want to see a doctor about that.
To make like dough. It stinks. The whole flat stinks.
Wow.
It's
Who are
really
they? Who's that?
just a friend. I went to uni with.
Why can't he buy yeast?
Well, I said, why not just buy? I got a loaf reduced to 18p the other day, and even full price. £1.40 is not that expensive.
Bread is not crippling you.
No, it's not.
It'd be good if you could send us some.
Send us some bread.
You could courier it. Or something. Or was that a bit expensive?
You want a loaf of bread couriered
Sense.
250 miles?
Who posts bread? That's mad.
I mean, have you put your cake in the post?
I mean, if you saw someone in the street just put a Hovis into a post box, you would call 999 immediately.
I'm starting to think Martin Lewis had a point.
Josh Widdicombe.
It's mainly now about we were going to have Richard Herring. We've got a mix up with the dates, and Finn Taylor was going to, who's our other guest.
Hello.
He was going to get a phrase in with Richard that someone had used in a text into us that we don't know what it means. Would you like to say the phrase?
So the phrase is, I haven't pained with the colours of the wind since.
Now, we thought we could, rather than, because no one's here, we were going to phone John Robbins, but we couldn't get through to him. So we're going to try Ivo Graham, a friend of the show. Probably he's probably done it quite a few, Ivo.
Ivo's been on 3 or 4 times, did
so-
a live comedy show for us.
So are you ready?
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
Finn is just going to try and get it into the conversation with him.
So just in context, I'm going to use the Welsh Comedy Festival that we're doing in a couple of weeks as a kind of a ruse.
Do you want to run through and I'll be Ivo?
Okay.
Okay. Hello?
Hello, mate. It's Finn.
Hiya, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thanks. Just a quick question. How are you going to Machyngleth Comedy Festival in 2 weeks?
I hadn't really thought about it.
Because the thing is, I got on the train last year, and quite frankly, I haven't pained with the colours of the wind since. All right, mate. See you later. Bye. That's how.
You got to let him respond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, okay, you ready?
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, it's Ivo. I'm sorry I'm not here, but please leave a message and I will listen to it. And
Finn's going to leave an answer phone message.
When you finish recording, please hang up or press the hash key for more options.
Hello, mate. It's Finn here. Just wondering how you're getting to McCunliffe Comedy Festival in a couple of weeks. Just seeing if you're driving. Because I got the train last year. Quite frankly, I haven't painted with the colours of the wind since. Anyway, let me know. Text me back on this number. Bye.
It feels slightly unsatisfying. Right, shall we get on with the show? This is the Smiths, singing about their favourite Italian restaurant. Let's ask.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Obviously, you are as well collecting the Panini World Cup stickers?
As of this morning, yeah.
As of
I've
this
just
morning.
begun.
How are you doing?
Well, I bought 4 packs. I thought that was a decent start.
Yeah.
And then you've said earlier you're on a limit of £5 a day. I mean, that's the difference in our careers, isn't it? I thought I'd start with 4 packs, limit myself to 50p a day, maybe.
Once that phone prank goes massive,
Goes
then-
viral.
Yeah, it goes viral.
Oh. Yeah.
Now, producer Neil, sadly can't afford a sticker album, but
Right.
obviously for the very positive reasons that he has a small baby girl.
That's a good reason.
It's just expenditure. It's unnecessary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, each their own. You choose what you want. I don't know.
All I will say is that I found stickers as much of an emotional support as I imagine a child can be. For example, when I collected them for the last World Cup, 2010, I'd just been dumped. And I remember one moment I was sat at sort of 3 a.m. with my friend who had a similar situation, and we were sharing the sticker book.
Well, that's the thing. Like a newborn child, stickers can lead to you losing sleep.
Yeah.
Neil, what I've done is I bought you a sticker album,
Yeah.
and we appealed, because he can't afford it,
Right.
for the people of Britain to send in their swaps.
That's a nice idea.
Neil Aid. Can Neil complete the sticker album, but he will do it totally free of charge?
Cheapskate.
We have got Mark Olver,
Yes. Yeah.
the friend of the show. He has donated to Neil Aid.
Oh,
Would you
wow.
yeah, he was very excited. So would you like your some of his swaps, Neil?
Yeah, please. How many have I got? That's quite a thick pile. I've got a quite indescribable shiny for USA.
The USA shiny is the most tasteless bad. You get about each country's
I
badge.
don't think it's that bad.
It's terrible. What describe it, Neil?
I think it's quite kind of, it suits the USA as a nation, as a people.
Well, it's a kind of burgundy with
garish.
three of those really cool.
It's got a ball with movement marks.
That's true.
Excellent.
Do you know what? It looks like the badge the Hurricanes would have.
That's very true.
Do you know?
Someone did send me some swaps this week.
Did they?
which
Did
was
you receive some swaps in the post?
I got some swaps in the post, but they didn't include their name, so I've no idea who you were, and I can't
You've
thank
got
you.
some kind of
anonymous
weird stalker
charity.
that's anonymous. How many have they sent you?
They sent me a fair wedge. It was about 15 stickers, I think.
Could you, on your Twitter profile, your description of yourself,
Yeah.
could you change it to donate to Neil Aid with the address? So if you go to @producerfernie on Twitter, if you want the address, it is his description of himself.
I'll post it on @XFM as well.
Post it on. He'll post it on XFM. If you are sending them, please mark it Neil Aid. We don't want John Suchet on Classic FM to receive the Cote d'Ivoire shiny.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Good afternoon, listeners. This is XFM with Finn Taylor
Happy Saturday.
and producer Neil. There we go.
So I
Catchphrase.
realised that I've been saying hello quite a lot, so I thought I'd change it up then.
It's good to have a catchphrase. It is.
Is that, have I said it enough for that to be a catchphrase now?
Well, you've still got 2 or 3 links to come.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
We're talking about odd things you enjoyed as a child, as Finn does his sticker album.
Yeah.
Now, this is from Sarah Kay. I collected tree sap as a child.
How?
The lovely pink stuff that comes out of where pine branches were trimmed. I used to roll it into balls, keep them stashed in the park. I was convinced I was making future amber.
So she sort of burrowed them like a squirrel
Yeah.
hiding nuts.
She was hiding her own tree sap.
Oh.
Is that a hobby?
Maybe a big fan of Jurassic Park or something
Yeah,
like
with the mosquito and the amber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What-
And then she does go on to say that she then got a mosquito to bite her, put that in the sap, so that she could be cloned at a later date.
I mean, how do you store... What would she say she stored the sap in?
The park.
But like, was this in like vials or in a sort of?
No, we just rolled it
capsule?
into balls to keep them stashed in the park. I mean, I don't know what her scientific qualifications are, but I'd say that, she's not really thought it through.
I mean, that's a lonely way to spend your weekend as a child, just kind of extracting
Sap from
Do you want to come into town or
What's
watch the film? Nah, I've just got some sap extraction to go.
Also, is it not a seasonal pursuit?
I don't know. Does sap stay in trees with the leaves?
That's one for any other business next week.
Well, so if it's pine branches, aren't they evergreens?
Oh, all right. David Bellamy. All right, Will Young.
Hey.
Jessica has written in, as a child, I was very much into the Mitford sisters, and my favourite programme was Crime Watch. Now, the Mitford sisters, Nancy Mitford, and there was a Mitford sister. Stop doing your stickers during a link.
Sorry, mate.
It's so addictive.
Isn't it? Yeah.
The Mitford sisters were kind of famous sisters.
I think they were killers. weren't
No,
they?
one of them was friends with Hitler. So her favourite programme was also Crime Watch, which I think is a lot more understandable than.
Well,
the
I
Mitford
think
thing.
if you're getting the sort of gateway programs of Short Change and Watchdog, that will lead on to Crime Watch very easily.
Yeah,
It's a slippery slope of serious children's television.
Well, the thing is,
Oh, do you remember Lizo Mazimba?
I saw him the other day.
Did you?
We watched him. Me and Neil, after recording one of the shows.
Hang on, have you got his number? Can I say? Can I say that to him?
We watched from the window the premiere of Noah. At one point, who got the loudest cheer?
Crow?
Emma Watson.
I went to school with her.
Whoa! Did
Yeah.
you? What was that like? Have you got her phone number?
No, she did add me on Facebook.
Did she?
And then deleted me. I think she moved with me.
Oh.
I think she left Facebook. I pulled her hair in year 3 because she didn't invite me to her birthday party.
Oh my word!
And look at us now. Yeah, XFM, Watson.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Now, normally we're joined by James Acaster for the final hour, but he can be here 'cause he's in Australia. But he has written us a letter from Australia.
Classic Acaster.
One of his classic scrapes. Are we ready? Plump up a cushion, listeners. Have you got some story music?
No.
No, okay. Nish got drunk and ate 20 chicken nuggets.
That's not a very story music start to it.
We all made fun of him and called him Nishy 20 Nugs for 2 days straight. Then, one night, I got drunk and got it in my head that everyone respected Nish for eating 20 chicken nuggets and didn't think he was a greedy little pig. So I went to McDonald's at 4 in the morning and ordered 20 chicken nuggets. I then sat down and filmed myself eating them while trash-talking Nish between nuggets. I forgot all about the whole thing until I discovered the footage on my phone a few days later when trying to show a nice girl a photo of my nephews. She immediately lost interest in me.
Wow.
I mean, Alistair Cook's letter from America is nothing compared to that letter from Australia.
My friend and crackpot Matt Ewins once ate 40 chicken nuggets in a month.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't tell James Acaster.
He's sort of like a snake in that he doesn't eat for ages and then he'll just sort of eat an entire antelope. Last him for days.
Or chicken.
Or in this case, a box of chicken nuggets.
I mean, that is a lovely letter. That's a second dispatch from Australia. James will be travelling on to New Zealand as well, taking his scrapes with him. So we'll be hearing more from him, hopefully, on his way around the Southern Hemisphere.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
As a thank you for showing up, Nish Kumar.
I mean,
Sorry.
I know
Do you
I've got ambiguous ethnic origins, but that's...
It's because I was thinking, in my head I was thinking I've got to remember to plug Nish because he was on earlier in the show.
Oh, right, cool.
But what happened was I looked at you, the most kind of, probably the whitest man I've ever met in my life.
Whoa, that's a bit...
Considering you've just done a story about how you went to school with Emma Watson.
I mean, you have
Josh
to wear a hat
Widdicombe.
in leisure clothes
XFM.
because of how white you were. The level of your whiteness got you killed in a futuristic war zone, right?
Yeah. And many people in the southern states imagine that's what a futuristic war will be like. Can we just say we've just got time? I've just got time before the plugs for one more tweet in.
Yeah?
Because I don't think we should overlook Steph, who has tweeted, as a child I enjoyed Countdown and osteopathy.
Wow.
Finn, as a thank you, would you like to plug anything?
Yeah, well, I'm doing my first solo show in Edinburgh this year. It's on at 10:20 at the Tron. It's a few months away. It's called Real Talk. But closer to home, I'm in a thing at the Invisible Dot called the Bear Pit Podcast. So I think it's still
When's
tickets
that
for the 28th of April at 9:30, I think, in King's Cross.
There we go.
That's the thing to plug.
I should plug for Nish. His Edinburgh show will be on in Edinburgh.
Yeah,
Correct?
I've seen it listed.
Is listed. Google Nish Kumar, and then Edinburgh.
Yeah.
You'll find it. Whatever you do, don't Google Nish Kumar Edinburgh and then read the reviews of last year, because then you'll never buy a ticket. No, that's
He's not even here, Josh.
No, it's a joke. I mean, it's obviously a joke. Neil, have you got anything to
Although
promote?
I just want to say that I saw Nish's show last year, and quite frankly, I haven't pained with the colours of the wind since.
Neil, have you got anything to promote?
Just Neil Aid. Look at XFM on Twitter for the address, and yeah, that's it.
Neil Aid, send in your Panini 2014 World Cup swaps. Also, Panini got a bit interested in this on Twitter, didn't they?
I think you need to tweet them because you carry some clout. on
Okay, I'm
Twitter.
going to tweet Panini after this. And finally, do you want to plug any of your other shows, Neil?
Dave Roundtree from Blur, Thursday nights 9 o'clock. Communion with Maz, Sunday nights from 10. Download the podcast as well, online, possibly Monday. Oh no, it's a bank holiday. No, it's going to be online Tuesday.
And here we go. I have no idea if there's tickets still available for these, but hopefully not. Wolverhampton, Thursday. Wellingborough, Friday. Stafford, Saturday. Coventry, Sunday. How much are you jealous of my life?
Well, it's kind of going back home for me.
Do you know what? I'm living in a hotel in Birmingham for 4 days during that.
You could have stayed with my mum and dad.
Coming up is Matt Dyson.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.